The opinions expressed are those of the show's host and not the staff or management of Port St. Lucie Broadcasters. Any reproduction without written consent of WSTU and WPSL is strictly prohibited. Now it's time for Quality of Life Radio, brought to you by Cigna and Aetna Medicare. Here are your hosts, Gary Owen and Tom Bouvier.
Hello and good morning. Thank you for tuning in to the world-famous Quality of Life radio show. And this is another extraordinary Tuesday morning, and it is December 12th. So that means you have only 13 days for the big man to come down your chimney and deliver those presents.
Merry Christmas.
So get ready, yes. And all you beautiful people out there dressed in red and green, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, all those wonderful things. And we're so happy that you were able to join us this morning and tuning in to the world-famous Quality of Life radio show. I'm your host, Gary Owen.
And I'm your co-host, Tom Bouvier.
And if you have questions, you can always call us at the number behind us at 772-210-1020 because, Tom, we're here every single Tuesday morning providing wisdom and counsel and unbiased information and education.
Absolutely. And, Gary, we actually bring relevant content, information that people can really use in their life. We have many people who have called in and become our clients or just called in and asked questions.
Right.
And they say, I listened to your radio show.
And thank you.
And we do appreciate that. And
Yes.
they said, this information is really good because it's really straight talk. It's information about insurance planning. We bring transparency. We teach you the pitfalls to avoid. And we give good old-fashioned straight talk. We call it the no-plop zone. You're not going to get any BS here. We're going to tell it like it is. We're going to tell it to you honestly, straight, and our job is to help improve your quality of life by simplifying insurance planning so that you can live the stress-free life that you deserve.
You know, you hit the spot when it comes to transparency and unbiased information. We had a gentleman here this morning, Kathy, one of our agents was helping, spoke to Frank for a little bit, and Frank lives here in Jensen Beach, and he had contacted Medicare and got more confused than ever before. And we hear that a lot. Another client we had here last week contacted Medicare and got erroneous information. And that's because Social Security and Medicare has a backlog of work to do, and they don't have enough people and infrastructure to support. So they're bringing in all these new personnel. They're not getting trained properly, and they're not providing the right information to you. So let us be your resource. We have been doing this for many, many, many years. We have the answers. You've got the questions. We have the answers. We have the solutions. All you got to do is pick up the phone and dial 772-210-1020. Today we're going to talk about Medicare Advantage. So, Tom, we had just went through 52 days of Medicare annual election period, right? AEP. It was a busy, busy season this year. And there are people, and it ends on the 7th of December. So for people who are on a Medicare Advantage plan, last Thursday, or that's right, or a Part D plan, you had to make a decision by December 7th. That was it. Now, what happens if you're like, oh my God, I forgot, I didn't have time, I was walking the dog, I was cleaning up the toilet, I forgot to call Owen Insurance Group. We're going to talk about some SEPs.
What's an SEP, Gary?
Oh, that's a lovely acronym that I think our audience is going to absolutely enjoy. So stay tuned for that. And then, you know, for the last two shows, Tom, we kept saying that we're going to cover the 10 early warning signs of dementia. So we're gonna hit that today. I promise you, we're gonna hit that today. We forgot.
Well, we did. Did we forget, or we just had so many other good, valuable information that it kind of keep getting bumped.
Oh
down.
my God, we got some awesome information. I mean,
I think it's
just
procrastination
amazing.
or putting things to the side a early sign of dementia. I hope not.
I don't procrastinate.
No,
I don't think
I
I do. I mean, I try.
No,
not to anyway.
you're a go-getter and a get-it-done kind of guy for sure.
Okay, we're going to start with a quote of the day today, and it's about competition. Your competition isn't other people. Your competition is your procrastination.
That's right.
Your negative thoughts, your comfort zone. Compete against that. I always tell my agents, right? Step out of your comfort zone. We're in a bubble. We're all in this little freaking bubble, and we're afraid to step outside the bubble. We see it every day. I mean, we have neighbors, and they keep to themselves. They're in their little bubble. They don't know what's going on around them. They just worry about what's going on at their home, and they have no idea what's going on around them. Step out of your comfort zone. Step out of the bubble, and that's where you'll start to see success. That's just the way I see it.
And I think if you did some of those things, you could probably delay or push back that dementia, because they say your mind is like a muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets. The less you use it, your mind literally begins to atrophy. It begins to shrink.
Right.
So
use that brain.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Do you think we should go right to SEPs, Tom, or should we do the 10 early signs, warning signs of dementia, just to get it out of the way?
Yeah, I think since
all right, we're
going to
talk
fight
me
against
into
our own
it.
Procrastination. We're not going to put it off any longer.
All right, so those of us who are over 50, listen, we just actually, it's sad. Got a call this past week of a client. She is now taking over her sister and her sister's affairs because she is in a home and has dementia, and she's under 50. It's crazy, man. But anyway, for those of us who are over 50, I think we all have to worry about this situation. So according to a 2023 figure from Alzheimer's Association, an estimated 7 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease, the most common type of dementia, though many experts say that number is probably higher, and its prevalence is projected to double by 2050. Globally, more than 55 million people have dementia. It's scary. It's horrific, quite frankly. And Tom, why don't you take number one?
Sure. Early warning signs of dementia. Number one, difficulty with everyday tasks. Everyone obviously makes mistakes, but people with dementia may find it increasingly difficult to do things like keep track of monthly bills, follow a recipe while they're cooking, the Alzheimer's Association says. They may also find it hard to concentrate on tasks, take much longer to do them, or have trouble finishing them.
Yikes. Number two, repetition. Asking a question over and over or telling the same story about a recent event multiple times are common indicators of mild or moderate Alzheimer's, according to the Cleveland Clinic. I have a family member that has that issue, and quite frankly, all the kids are concerned.
Yeah. Communication problems. Observe if a loved one has trouble joining conversations or following along with them. They stop abruptly in the middle of a thought or struggle to think of words or the names of objects.
Getting lost if you're from another state. No, you're visiting Florida. No, but people with dementia may have difficulty with visual and spatial abilities. That can manifest itself in problems like getting lost while driving, according to the Mayo Clinic.
Number five, personality changes. And this is the sad part because they say my loved one was so sweet and nice, and then the dementia made them angry and mean. Now, it doesn't always happen that way, but a loved one who begins to act unusually anxious, confused, fearful, or suspicious, or who becomes easily upset and seems depressed is a cause for concern and potentially is a warning sign.
At number six, confusion about time and place. If someone forgets where they are or can't remember how they got there, wow, that is a major red flag. Another worrisome sign is disorientation about time. For example, routinely forgetting what day of the week it is. host is Jason Karlowicz, MD, a neurologist and professor of medicine at the University of Pennsylvania Perelman School of Medicine and co-director of the Penn Memory Center. Now, quite frequently, Tom, during AEP, I sometimes forget what day it is or where I'm at.
Well, certainly very busy people in certain stress times of the year. But that may not be a sign of dementia. That's just you're a hard worker, and your days just flow into one another.
I hope so.
Next is number 7 is misplacing things. Someone with dementia may put things in unusual places and may have difficult retracing their steps to find misplaced items, the Alzheimer's Association says.
And number 8, troubling behavior. If your family member seems to have increasingly poor judgment when handling money or neglects grooming and cleanliness, pay close attention to that.
And number 9, a loss of interest in doing things or apathy. Not feeling especially social from time to time is certainly sometimes I like to be alone because I'm always around people and always talking. But having a sudden and routine loss of interest in family, friends, work, and social events is a warning sign of dementia.
And that is scary to see. And you can see it. You can see the progression in people as it happens, and especially your family members.
Yes, absolutely.
Number 10, and finally, it's forgetting old memories. Memory loss that becomes more persistent is often one of the first signs of dementia. Tom, there's got to be a lot of help for family members who have family members that have indication of these early warning signs. I'm sure that the Alzheimer's Association, there's resources there that they could call and get help with. But certainly talk to your family, your loved ones, your siblings, and have a plan. I mean, we're currently talking to my parents. My 2 sisters and I have talked to my parents, and we believe the time has come where they need to downsize, get out of their home, and start thinking about a transition in life. So it's a tough conversation to have with your parents and other family members, but it's absolutely a necessity. So,
and Gary, you mentioned someone under age 50 who had the Alzheimer's. So many people out listening now are under 65 or under 50, and so what can they do? Talk to their doctor, talk to their nutritionist, begin to read in different articles about what you can do to keep your brain healthy and strong, and try to fight that onset of dementia.
Absolutely.
So, ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cures. So
I'm very happy that we finally, after 3 weeks of trying to get you the 10 early warning signs of dementia that you should not ignore, we're glad to have brought that to you here today on December 12th, right before Christmas.
Yes.
I forgot my Christmas present.
Oh, no way. Well, we're going to have to...
my Christmas present.
Oh, I see.
But it's coming.
Okay.
It's coming next year.
And if you would like a copy of this, we can get this emailed to you or stop by our office. Call us at 772-210-1020, and we'd be happy to get that to you. Because this is something that if you have elderly parents, you may want to share this with your siblings and even with your parents. And
Great idea.
Say, hey, Mom, Dad, have that conversation. As Gary said, it's a very difficult conversation to have, but... it's reality, it's life, and so the truth could really help people.
Yeah, nobody wants to accept the fact that they have memory loss and onset of dementia and so forth. But
better to face the facts now than to let it go unchecked.
All right, so we're going to transition, Tom, to SEPs. So since AEP is over. Now, AEP is for those, again, on Medicare Advantage or a prescription drug plan where you want to go from one plan to another. That's the time to review your plan in those 54 days. And then that plan begins then January 1 of each year. So what happens, Tom, if you missed the AEP? Now, we've got we have the OEP, we have SEPs. Before we get to OEP, let's talk about SEP. What does that mean to consumers who maybe missed the the AEP or didn't take advantage of the opportunity to have a review done, and they have currently a Medicare Advantage plan or a prescription drug plan.
Yes, and so we certainly have listeners and viewers all across the country and all across the world, actually. But some of these special enrollment periods, we're just going to focus on the state of Florida. But your state, if you're outside of Florida, may have these special enrollment periods. Give us a call, and we can research that for you as well. But a SEP is an acronym for Special Enrollment Period or Special Election Period. It's something that the government has set permanent special enrollment periods, like you move from one state to the other. You move from North Carolina and you come to Florida, not in that Medicare's open enrollment window, AEP. So you have an enrollment period. But in the state of Florida, we have several that are ongoing, and you say, well, I can't believe this. Hurricane Ian, an emergency. These are FEMA emergency disasters. Hurricane Ian, the entire state except Bay County, it goes all the way through the end of March of next year. So
wait a minute. Hold on. Back the truck up. Are you telling me that tomorrow, December 13th, if somebody wants to come into the office and do their drug plan review, we can do it and still have a January 1 effect? Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
What?
Yeah, there's just
Good
one.
stuff.
So you say, well, I wasn't really affected. Well, the government actually gives the entire state, except for that one county, the ability to make a change. Also, Hurricane Nicole and Hurricane Idalia. And there's actually two other ones that were kind of unusual. I was surprised when I saw them. But one is due to the Israel-Hamas war. As horrible as that is, that has given, I guess, there are many people in the state of Florida that may have been emotionally affected, so they couldn't get their enrollment done during the AEP period. So there is a special enrollment period for that. And there's also one for illegal migration into the state of Florida. So some of them were signed by the government, others are federal special enrollment periods. So the good news for those on Medicare, as Gary was saying, if somehow you weren't able to get to that, or you have an agent not with an insurance group and they just didn't get back to you, you reached out to them, you couldn't get it done, or for whatever reason you weren't able to get it done, give us a call. And so it's in essence like an eternal enrollment period, at least through the end of March.
And the numbers behind us, if you're watching, 772. For those of you that are listening, you're like, I can't see the number, Gary. 772-210-1020. Tom, what if they did on their own, they went online and okay, you know what, I can do this on my own, and I'm enrolling myself in this drug plan. And then their neighbor next door tells them, oh, did you enroll in the $0 premium plan? Like, what? I didn't know anything about that. Mm-hmm. Can they participate in the SEP if they've already made their AEP election?
So my understanding, as I read the rules, and my understanding is no. They've already made an election period, so they used it. We can't now say, well, I didn't have time because of Hurricane Ian, well, you actually did. You did the enrollment. So this is if you have not already used a valid election period.
Very good. During
the period, and you've not made any changes. So Gary, if they have already made that change during between October 15th and December 7th, put in the application. You can't go back and say, I didn't have time, because actually you did. So.
All right, so now we know that there is now an open enrollment period. There's so many acronyms in this industry; it's ridiculous.
OMG!
Yeah. I mean, it makes your hair fall out of your head. There's just too many of them. So people kind of interchange the annual enrollment period with open enrollment period for Medicare. So it's actually technically AEP, annual election period for October 15th through December 7th. Then you have an OEP. Of course, Tom mentioned already so eloquently about the SEPs that potentially you have. And of course, if you're moving, that's another SEP. If you're coming into the state, or you're moving from one county to the next, that opens up a new SEP for you as well. But now beginning January 1st, there is yet another open enrollment period. Takes you all the way through March 31st. So now, Tom, if the client who signed up on their Medicare Part D drug plan during AEP, can they sign up now during the OEP to get a new drug plan, that $0 premium plan?
Well, Gary, actually, no.
Oh,
yeah.
They missed
Sorry.
it. They missed it.
And, I know all the people out there who have the Medicare supplements with the Part D prescription drugs. They may say, well, how come we're discriminated against and we don't have another chance to get it right? Because basically what Medicare says is, and this only became available a couple of years ago.
Yes.
But it's called the Medicare Advantage Open Enrollment Period, OEP, and that's between January 1st, March 31st, as Gary said. So if you are on a Medicare Advantage plan going into January 1st, then you have 3 months to get it right. Maybe you enrolled yourself in a plan and now your doctors are all out of network, and you just found out, or somehow, for whatever reason, you feel like you're not in the right Medicare Advantage plan. So I won't go through all the reasons that could be, but certainly any time between January 1st and March 31st, if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, give us a call. We can do an annual a review for you. I won't call it an annual, but it'll be that review period. So
they'll call it an immediate review.
There you go. There you go. So
thorough.
Yeah. So Medicare does give people a lot of opportunities to change, especially if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, and certainly if you have not used an election period and you're on a drug plan, give us a call as well. We could make a change for you.
Now, for you that have a Medicare Advantage plan, during the OEP, January, February, or March, you can choose another, of course, Medicare Advantage plan. As Tom said, you cannot go from a PDP to another PDP. You're done with your PDPs for OEP. So it's an opportunity for those of you who are on a Medicare Advantage plan to switch to another maybe possible Medicare Advantage plan, or you can opt out of the Medicare Advantage plan or managed care altogether and go back to original Medicare. Medicare A and B is original Medicare. And then also pick up a Medicare supplement plan or a drug plan. So that is the only opportunity you have to change your drug plan, is if you go back to original Medicare, and then you can pick up a drug plan then and also pick up a Medicare supplement plan. Why would somebody want to give up their Medicare Advantage plan, Tom, and go back to original Medicare?
Well, there are a lot of reasons for that, Gary.
Oh, I've got tons of them right here. I mean, one after another. I mean, oh my Lord, it's crazy.
So many, we are collecting the major articles, not only in our industry newsletters and magazines, but also in reputable publications and newspapers about a lot of doctors, providers, especially hospitals, who are not accepting Medicare Advantage plans. So all of a sudden you get into January or February and you realize how my hospital has not renewed their contract with this Medicare Advantage. And I've got procedures scheduled for April or May or whatnot. And so that's one reason, and that's seemingly becoming more and more.
It's unfortunate. It is. And, the Medicare Advantage plans have got to step up and abide by what the federal government is asking them to do. We've got case after case after case of hospitals. Kentucky is dropping United Health, Centene, and Medicare Advantage plans altogether across the whole state. And more are happening. The reason why, as Tom said, revenue reductions linked to Medicare Advantage denials surged by 56%. So there are more and more denials, I call them jumping through the flaming hoops of doom. If you need to have a procedure done, that you got to get a pre-authorization, and then the pre-authorization gets denied, and then you got to file an appeal, and that appeal gets denied, and then you file another appeal. Who wants to go through that nonsense? Not I. But anyway, this is what's going on over in Sarasota. If anyone lives over in Sarasota Memorial Hospital, they have just announced that they are removing all Medicare Advantage plans, except they're going to keep just a handful from now on. So again, there is an epidemic in this country with Medicare Advantage plans not paying the providers, denying authorizations, pre-authorizations, and so forth. It's not good for the consumer. We know there's fraud in every aspect of Medicare, but so I think the government needs to do a better job in getting the foot soldiers out there, stopping the fraud, the waste, and the abuse, and protecting the seniors. The seniors need to be protected. If they need medical care, they shouldn't have to jump through all these hoops of doom, flaming hoops of doom, to get the care that they need and the care that they deserve. That's just my 2 cents. That's my personal opinion. But with a Medicare supplement plan, the consumer is in charge of their health care. So they get to go where they want to go. Go to any doctor, any hospital that accepts Medicare without no networks, no restrictions, and more and more people are considering going that route as well. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in today. We appreciate you joining us. Stay tuned. Coming up next is the Brian Kilmeade Show, and also next week we're going to be talking about prescription drugs and government intervention. Thanks for joining us. Please share us with your friends, your family, your neighbors. Let them know we're here. Let them know we're a resource. And remember, Treasure Coast, stay safe, keep healthy, be happy, and enjoy your quality of life.